thank you so much for taking this time to join us. I know you're quite a busy person, and you reserving this day to talk to us. It's such a privilege on its own. So before we jump into a lot of things, before we talk more about photography, just tell us who you are.
My name is Andrew. I am a photographer, professional photographer since 2005. I've been taking photos and stuff. I enjoy teaching photography and helping others grow in their own photography skills. So for me, it's awesome to be able to interact with people like that as well. As me myself, I take photos. I am 33 years old. I enjoy photos a lot. I also have a day job, but it doesn't come close to photography.
Now, it's always the case with a lot of photographers. Tell us your photography story, until where you are right now.
Oof. Okay, well, when it started, I used a cell phone to take photos with, way back. And I remember specifically the way that I got into photography more seriously was I was just taking random photos with my cell phone, and my grandmother saw some of the photos and she said, "Damn, you should be a photographer." So now I'm a photographer.
So if okay.
Yeah, so since then, since 2005, I've started actually educating myself in photography. I finished my Photoshop Adobe courses in 2007. I started shooting people and such a couple of years back as well, and it's been quite fun, but it's been a long journey as well. It's not something you jump into and just start out good. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of self-education and discipline, because the first money you make, it feels so awesome, but you've got such a high tendency to just want to spend everything on a new lens. And it's very difficult to actually do the business side of photography, and that's one of the things I actually went for education as well, is in regards to the business side of photography. That I did a couple of years back, and it's helped so much, because a lot of photographers, what to do is they forget that it's not just photography. You need to actually have business skills to grow yourself as a photographer. And me as an educator, I'm actually doing courses currently to better help me being able to educate others. But my photography, I started with a cell phone. I moved to a point and shoot Nikon P something. That's like a super old 4 megapixel camera. From there on, I moved over to DSLRs, and my very first mirrorless camera was a Fujifilm X-T20 about 4 years ago. I literally just had that camera and a 35mm lens, and with that combo I shot at least, I think, 3 weddings, 40 model shoots, 10 couple sessions, and that's an entry-level camera with a basic kit lens. And I mean, you don't need the best gear to get started. You don't need a mentor to get started. You just need something to get started with, a passion, a drive, and just keep going, pushing yourself forward. And then now, in the last couple of years, I've started using more professional gear as well, and it's a big change. Going from a more or less entry-level camera to a professional camera, it's a huge change. A new professional camera doesn't make you a better photographer. It shows your flaws as a photographer so well. Because the thing with professional gear is, yes, it is professional gear, but professional gear needs a professional to use it correctly in order to get the best results. If you pick up a professional Nikon D850 as an example, and you've only been used to shooting with point and shoot, it's not going to help you at all, because you've got no idea how to set up your flash. You've got no idea how to do any of the more advanced things. So my tip to everybody that always wants to get into photography is educate yourself. Put down your camera, pick up a book, watch a YouTube channel, join a Facebook group, get advice, and start going. You do not need a mentor. You do not need the best equipment on the planet. You just need a willingness to sit down and educate yourself. Yes, you can go for education as well. That's always awesome, but it's expensive. So try and do it yourself, and do not be afraid to ask for help. Because asking for help is very important.
Yeah, so I'm a bit curious on this. What do you think about your first photos? The ones that you took using your phone. Do you still have them with you?
I still have them. They suck. But they were good. They were good learning experience because your cell phone doesn't take very good photos. The newer cell phones, yes, they take good photos. But your first photos with your cell phone, those are always just going to be snapshots. And snapshots are just photos you've put no thought into. You just point the camera in a direction, you press the button because it looks kind of cool. But the problem with those photos are they kind of look cool on your cell phone, but as soon as you try to print them or do stuff, man, it's such a mess up. But it was valuable to go through that learning experience because your cell phone is also a camera, and you can use it to work on your compositional skills and all of those things you can work on with a cell phone. You don't actually need a physical DSLR or mirrorless camera to do that, and that is what a lot of people seem to miss about your cell phone. It's an awesome tool. It's in your pocket always. Use the damn thing.
Let's talk about your photography style.
On
my
your style.
Page, yeah, because on your page I saw a lot of black and white pictures. Can you just take us through or tell us how did you find your own photography style?
The way that I found my photography style was light. I like light, specifically shadows. So that's why I like shooting black and white, because black and white removes all your color distractions and it leaves you only with highlights and shadows. So if you've got good light on a black and white photo, that allows you to work with the light in your photo to get awesome results. Color is fine as well, but me, I like a darker, moodier, black and white type of style of shooting. It's just something that I enjoy myself so much. Yes, I can still shoot color, but I cannot edit it for the life of me. I've got no idea how. I've been working for the past couple of years only working on my black and white skills to move them forward, and I've completely ignored color. And it's just the way that I am myself, because black and white is a very timeless type of photo, because I can take a black and white photo today, I can take that same photo 20 years down the line and they can look exactly the same. But if I take a color photo today and 20 years down the line I take the color photo again, with sensor technology changing so much, the color science also changes. So I'll never be able to take that same color photo that I took 20 years ago with a new camera. So that's why I like black and white. It's a nice consistent style to shoot in, because I can always, no matter which camera, I can even use my phone to shoot black and white photos with, and you'll never know the difference because I'm not shooting color. So for me, that's why I enjoy black and white so much, and it's a style that I've been working on for years now, and I've ignored everything else. I've sold off my lights because I don't need light. I work with shadows, so it's different from person to person. But the nice thing is, because I've worked and developed my style so much, I actually literally just need a camera and any lens. It doesn't need to be a fast lens or anything. I can still shoot the shots that my clients like. I don't even need speed lights. I don't even need a sunny day to shoot them. And that's what makes it so nice, because it's a very minimalistic type of style of photography. Because when I go on shoots, I take my camera, I take my lens and nothing else. Well, one or two lens cloths just to be safe, and maybe extra battery, but that's about it. But because it's such a minimalistic setup, it gives me a lot of time to interact with my clients and get very good facial expressions and work on posing and all of that type of stuff, because I don't need to worry about a camera bag full of gear, or I don't even need to worry about bringing assistants along to hold my lights. Why? I don't need them. Yes, I can use them, but I prefer not to use them. I like to work with what's available around the area that I shoot in. And a lot of people seem to think that you need the best and you need like 20 lights and everything else. No, you don't need that. You just need to find something that works with the gear that you have. You will never outgrow your gear unless you need weather sealing. Then you need a new camera, because the inter-level cameras, they don't have weather sealing. And I need weather sealing.
So while we're still talking about pictures, do you have a favorite picture? Like, out of all the pictures that you've shot, what's your favorite?
Let me see. My favorite picture. It would be a picture of a spider called Rosita. So named because it's a female jumping spider. It's like a tiny, tiny, tiny little spider. The spider is about 2 millimeters in size. So it's like super small. It was so hard to get a good photo of it that it's one of my favorite photos. I'll send it to you, then you can add it on into the video as well. And the reason the spider's named Rosita is because it was a female. I always called the spider Bob because I thought it was a male. But then somebody pointed out to me, no, that's a female, dude. And I was like, hey, I need to change the name. And the nice, and the nice thing about the spider is, before I started shooting people or portraits or anything like that, I was a macro photographer. That's why I'm so very good at giving critique and such, because I notice all the small details because I've got a macro photography background. That's why when I take my own photos, I take thousands of photos on a portrait session because I need perfect focus. I need zero background distractions. I need every single detail in its place. If it's not in its place, I throw the photo away no matter how good it is. Because I'm so particular about details. And I think because I'm so particular about details, that's why a lot of people like to ask me for critique, because I look for all those small details in photos and I point them out. And it's been a blessing and a curse at the same time, because I can't shoot photos I like.
Okay, while still on the topic of a lot of people asking for critique and all that, like you help a lot of people daily,
Hell yeah.
A lot of photographers get help from you they better their skills with what you advise them on. How do you feel about that, when you go to sleep knowing that today I've helped so much people?
Well, let me put it to you into perspective. Every single day I help 100 plus photographers critique, one-on-one sessions, etc., etc., etc. I start in the mornings at about 6 and I end the next morning at about 3. So my days get long, unfortunately, but I enjoy helping them. And the big reason I enjoy helping them is when I started my photography, I had nobody to help me at all. I had to suffer and struggle every single bloody day to learn stuff, to try and grow my own skills and stuff. So for me, being able to help people that are struggling and are basically in the same spot I was in when I started out, it feels awesome. I mean, how the hell? I can give them something that they need and want, but they've got no idea how to ask for it properly. So for me, I take a very close look at every single person that asks for help on the essay photography page, on my own educational page, and I go through their photos and I give them proper good advice. I'm not sarcastic. I try and help them wherever I can, because I know from when I started out, that tiny little bit of detail that I give them is going to mean so much to them. And those people love it so much. I mean, hell, they follow me. I'm like a fan club or something. And it's completely not what I wanted. I just wanted to help them. And so for me, I just like to give back to the photography community. So for me, it's awesome. I love it. So one of these days I'll do a couple of workshops. Well, as soon as I can start traveling and such. But until then, I will always, every single day, be on those groups helping every single photographer that needs help, or every single person that drops me a direct DM or anything like that. I will always help them, no matter what time of day it is, no matter what I'm busy with, because I know they need it. And they actually need that so much that a lot of other professionals refuse to help photographers. And for me, that's like, why? I want more photographers in the industry. I want more proper photographers in the industry. More photographers, better for me. I need to go out and do less weddings. So the more weddings they can do, the less I need to do. So it's like, yes, I hate weddings so much.
Weddings, there are a lot of issues with shooting weddings.
Always.
That type of weddings, there's always that particular person who gets in front of you with a phone, shooting videos and pictures with a phone. There's just there's just a lot that's happening.
Yeah, the last wedding I was at, the first kiss, I had to fight 20 other people with cell phones to get a photo. And you know what I said? You must stuff it. I'm not doing a wedding ever again.
What you started, it's a really great platform, and I'm surely you've helped out a lot of people, myself included. You've really changed a lot of photographers. I know, like, even myself included, I used to think that the most important thing is a Canon camera. It doesn't matter which Canon camera. I used to believe that the most important tool in photography is a Canon camera because you know I believe that I didn't even consider other things like the megapixels and all that. Like whatever Canon camera I had, I believed that it was gonna make me a better photographer. Until until I bought one and auto mode stopped working for me. So that's where
Yeah.
now that's where now I hit the brick wall. It's a great platform. I'm sure a lot of people appreciate it. So what inspired you to end up being a photographer?
Oh, I needed a creative outlet. Apart from my grandmother telling me I should be one, now I am one. But because my day job is a very technical day job, I am a IT specialist. So I work with computer and all that type of stuff every single day, day in and day out. And that type of technical work leaves you very frustrated. So for me, photography was a way of releasing some of that frustration into a creative platform. And it's awesome. I love it so much. But when I started photography, my only goal was to just take random photos of anything else. But that's changed over time. A few years back, my goal was to make it a full-time job. But now it's changed again because of the COVID and the lockdown and stuff. So now I've gone from taking just snapshots for the fun of it to trying to make it full-time to trying to start up a educational platform, because I think me educating people might just be better than me taking photos of people. So
Plus,
I
you don't
still
have to go out of the house also.
that as well, and I do still enjoy shooting people. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy the interaction. I enjoy helping them, getting the poses correctly, getting good photos of them. But the educational side of it, it's just so much fun to help people that I'm stuck on the educational side. I don't think I will try to go into full-time photography again. I think what I would rather try to do is start up a educational center or something as such, and basically just grow it from there to help underprivileged photographers or struggling photographers and try and get them all growing into the industry, so the industry itself can grow by adding all the new value to all the new photographers. So my goals have changed every couple of years in photography. From when I started to where I'm now, it's like a complete 180. I mean, I wanted to be a professional wedding photographer. Now I hate weddings. So it changes over time, and even with yourself, it will change. I mean, you're doing YouTube videos now, you're doing photography as well, but I can guarantee you, in a couple of years' time, you're going to look at your work and go, now it's time for a change. And you're going to change something. And then your goals are going to change again. And then a few years down the line, it's going to change again. It's normal. It's the way the things go. Any photographer that likes to shoot stuff, they will change eventually. It's the way we are. We're humans. We're curious. We want to know, what does that bug look like close up? I need to get macro gear. I need to do macro photography. I like it. Let me see if I can do some macro prints and sell those. Awesome. Now you're a macro photographer. Or you start shooting people, you like ladies on the beach, so you try and do beach shoots of people, and you become a portrait and lifestyle photographer. But that at a point also gets boring after you've done like 1,000 shoots or something, and then it gets very stagnant and you need to look for new challenges. And I think that's why a lot of photographers move between so many different fields, because you need a challenge to challenge your creativity, because you can take the most awesome portrait ever, but you can suck at landscapes. So that means now you need to move into landscapes again to broaden your skill set. And it's the same with me. I suck at landscapes. Will I ever shoot a good landscape? No, I will not, because I refuse to learn how to shoot landscapes. I hate them. But it's a field of photography which I lack skill in. That's why I'm not able to give good critique in landscape photography. But I am busy studying landscape photography techniques and such, so I am better able to help people with their landscape photography instead of me trying to shoot good shots. I might, down the line, a couple of years, I might take up landscape photography, but not now.
What you just said reminds me of a video that I once watched on YouTube. What the guy said was that reaching your dreams won't actually make you happy.
It's chasing your dreams that makes you happy.
Yeah, because he said, once it's sort of like climbing a mountain. You might have a dream of being on top of a mountain, once you get at the peak of the mountain, then what?
Precisely. Then what? That's the thing with photography as well. If you become the best portrait photographer on the planet, it's going to be very boring. Because people are going to know your style. You can never deviate from your style because people are going to think you're insane and you get locked down so bad. That's why expanding your horizons. You still need to do portraits for money, so that's fine. But then you start moving to different new challenges. And challenging yourself creatively with your creative photography and such is a very important role in growing yourself as a photographer. Because those private projects or things like those help you deviate away from your normal style that you normally shoot. And experiencing different styles, different genres of photography, that helps you with everything that you do in photography, settings, gear, whatever it is. Experiencing all the different styles of photography is a very good thing to do. Even on the educational group, I think from the end of the month, I will start doing weekly challenges for people to basically challenge people to start growing their photography skills in different types of photography, different styles of photography, so that they can open their minds to change, to think outside of the box. Because knowing how light works in landscape photography can help you directly when you're shooting natural light portraits, because then you know what time of day you'll get good light and all that type of stuff. So they all come together quite nicely in the end. So it's very important to always move forward. Don't climb the mountain and stand at the top and piss down on people. Climb the mountain, help the people up. That's what I say.
So you are a busy person. You have a busy schedule. You have a full-time job. So in terms of finding in terms of finding the right time, energy, inspiration, and editing motivation, like what are your biggest obstacles?
My biggest obstacles currently is just time. And because I am currently busy moving to a new house, which should have a new studio area for me and all that type of stuff. But it's a lot of work to get that place prepared. Then I also have my day job to do. I help people as well. So my time during the day to actually shoot photos is very limited. So what I like to do is my camera is always with me. It's always within reach. So whenever I see something that looks good or interesting, I pick up my camera, I take the photo, I carry on with my day. So yes, I still shoot about 50 to 100 photos each day, but it's different to when you actually go out and walk and look for photos. Currently, my photos are more opportunistic photos. So if I see a good light ray on the mountain or something, I pick up my camera, I take a photo. If I'm driving around, I see a cat doing something funny, I stop, I pick up my camera, I take a photo. Because it's always with me, I can do that. So that's one of the ways that I like to do that. And then sometimes over the weekends, I arrange photo walks with a couple local photographers Saturdays, and we go walk 10 to 12k kilometers in the jungle, and we just take random photos and just talk crap and stuff. So that's always a good thing to do as well. But currently, with all the stuff that's going on, my day job and stuff, my time for photography is very limited, unfortunately. Which is why I rather help others, because they can go out and shoot, so I can might as well just help them. So my own photography and stuff, I think it's taken a bit of a backseat currently with all the stuff going on, especially with all the lockdown restrictions and all the other type of stuff. It's changed the way that I do photography quite a bit. So instead of going out on planned shoots for whatever, landscapes or forestscapes or anything like that, I just always carry my camera with me. They're ready to go. So I've got my camera, 2 SD cards, 2 batteries in a tiny little bag, and I carry the bag with me every single where. So whenever something comes up, I pick up my camera, I take a shoot. And it works quite well. And one of the things I do enjoy doing, as an example, is sometimes I like going to the botanical gardens and just walking around. And if I see some people with their cell phones taking photos of each other, I would go up to them and say, hey, can I take some good professional photos for you? And they go, yeah, sure, why not? And there you go, I've got a portrait session for a random person. So I still do practice my portrait shoots and stuff like that, but it's more random and in the moment compared to before, where I would plan out a portrait session or a shoot or something like that.
So how do you protect your work from being redistributed, from being reposted? What's your concern? Because
Uh,
currently, like that's like a very big problem. On many social platforms, we have a lot of photographers complaining that there are other imposter accounts that are distributing their work. So how do you stop people from taking your work?
I encourage them to take my work. I don't use watermarks. I don't use anything like that. Remember, the law in South Africa is if you take the photo and you store that raw file on your system, you own the copyright to that system. If you post that photo on social media, yes, people can share it. They can steal it and post it to their social media. They're not going to make money from it. It's just social media. So, yes, it's annoying when it happens, but it doesn't cost you any money. They don't make any money. So, it doesn't really do anything. But if somebody takes your photo, prints it on a shirt, and sells that shirt, then you can take them to court and make a lot of money. I know I had to in the past. But the local newspaper used some of my photos in their newspaper, which means that they directly profited from my photos. And I had a good little fight with them. And in the end, they paid me some money. So you can try and protect your work, but remember, a signature can be cropped out. A small photo you upload will look shit. Just upload proper sized photos. Don't upload raw files. Oh hell no, never do that, because as soon as you upload a raw file or send somebody a raw file, they effectively now have copyright to that photo. So it's very important that what you distribute online, you're happy with people taking that photo and sharing it online. Because remember, platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and those ones are social platforms. Anything you upload to that platform is considered public domain. So if I upload a photo of a spider to Facebook, people can take that photo and do whatever they want with it because it's in the public domain. So it's different. But if somebody takes that photo of a spider and they make a calendar or something, they print that out and they sell it, and I catch them, oh, I can have a field day with them. And the same thing goes for you. If you take your tiny little point and shoot Nikon camera and you take a photo of something, and somebody uses that photo to make money from it, then you can go after them. But if they do not make any money or profit from it, just leave it, ignore it. I mean, what the hell? I don't even care about that because it's such a small amount of times that happens and nobody makes money from Facebook posts. So ignore it, I would say. But if you do want to protect yourself, control what you put online, because remember, what you put online on social media, people can see that. And so if you want to put your best work on social media, yes, there's a good chance people will take it. But if you want to properly display your best work without people being able to steal it, you would have your own website with right-click protection and all that type of stuff, and that will actually protect your photos online. But if you have posted to Facebook, fair game, anybody can take it. as much as it sucks, that's unfortunately the nature of it. So people taking my work on Facebook, I don't care. They can do it. I encourage them to take it because, the nice thing is if a client sees my work on their fake page and hires them to shoot that same photo, they're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, that's the negative part about it.
That's the nice thing about it. So even if they do steal my work, they can never reproduce that quality of work with a client. So they're basically just stuffing themselves up. I don't care about it. I'll just laugh about it.
So when you leave the house for a photo shoot, what do you put in your camera bag?
In my camera bag, one camera, one lens, couple extra batteries, couple knives, paper spray. All the normal type of stuff. But what I do put in my camera bag, which is very important, which you might also need to consider, is a small little black book and a pen. Now, the reason I take that along with me, instead of just making notes on my cell phone, is if I see a scene or I see something which looks interesting, but the light kind of sucks and it's not really the best time of day to shoot it, I take my little notebook and I make a note about it. I put the location, time, whatever. I take a dummy photo of it, and on my camera you can store that photo. So when I copy all the photos to my PC, I can actually find that photo easily and rename it accordingly so that I know in the future I can find that spot easily. And so having a notebook is a very good tool to have, because let's say you take a random photo of a stranger. You want to take their details. You don't want to take your phone out in public. somebody might grab it and run away with it. So you take your notebook out and you write down the details.
That's actually great advice.
Yeah, it's just easier because I've seen photographers take out their cell phones and type down the client's information. Somebody grabs the phone and they run. Photographer leaves his gear and runs after him, so somebody steals the gear. So it's a notebook's handy to have because you can plan shoots and you can plan stuff on your little notebook, and it's nice if you go and sit and have a coffee with a client. You don't want to put your phone on the table and draw stuff on your phone. You want to take your little notebook and open it up and draw your ideas and sketch them and make notes about it. It just gives a better interaction between you and clients and stuff like that. So it's always good to just have a small little black book and a pen or a pencil and just use it, because that helps a lot. Not only because it leaves your phone in your pocket, but you can make a lot of notes and do a lot of things with a tiny little piece of paper. You can even, if you see somebody that's busy taking a photo shoot, but you want to also take photos of the model, you can just rip out a piece of paper, put down your contact details, and just give it to the model instead of carrying business cards, because not a lot of people have business cards. So you can use it in so many different ways that I've always got a notebook in my camera bag because it's extremely handy to have. So that's another thing. And other things that I like to also carry around in my camera bag is like lens cloths, extra memory cards, all the normal tech stuff, but I also carry pepper spray and a knife. I also have a knife on my side just for in case, because it's a valuable tool if you need to cut away some leaves to get a perfect shot, or if you need to loosen screws or something. It's much easier to have a knife than a tool bag. So it becomes a very valuable multi-purpose tool as well. So that's why I always carry a knife with me, because I use it as a screwdriver and everything else. I fixed my lens with my knife because I have it with me.
I thought you were gonna say you are using it for protection.
No, for protection. That's a pepper spray. You know, you spray them and you run the hell away. That's what you do. You don't fight, you run. You're a photographer. You're not a fighter. But if security is an issue for you, a lot of security companies, you can approach them and say, hey, I've got a shoot at this location, this time. Will you send a guard out for me? And then instead of paying them, you go, if you do that for me, I'll come to your company and shoot some photos for your website or your social media. So you do a little trade with them. So you get a security guard to help you guard your gear and stuff when you're at a shoot, and they in return get a nice couple of shots for their Facebook. So it's a nice win-win situation, and that type of stuff is very valuable in the future, because if you know you're going to a dodgy area to take photos, you want security, or you want to be able to protect your model or your gear and all that type of stuff. So having a reliable security company which is able to come and help you, they're not that expensive, by the way. I think they charge like $800 a day. So they're like super cheap. So, but you can remove those costs by doing a skill share with them. They give you a guard, and you in return give them not only good feedback, but you give them proper photos for their social media. And you know what, I've done that a couple of times and it saved me a lot of money. So it's a good tip to keep in mind that companies like those, they don't have a very strong social media presence. So you can always approach them and do a skill trade with them, or even just find business from them. Just approach them and say, you know what, I'm a photographer. I am working in your area. Would you like me to come take some photos for you? And then in return, you can give me a discount when I need a guard or something. Keep that in mind, because you need security. You need to keep yourself safe.
Yeah, we live in a very tough. We live in tough times. It's not
very tough times. Very tough times.
Okay, so can you share with us how you managed to how do you manage to get your big clients?
My big clients. I work with a couple of modeling agencies in my area, and the way that I got those shoots wasn't them approaching me, it was me approaching them, but I did it in a different way. So the one modeling agency had a little parent model get-together session thing in the studio. So instead of telling them, hey, I'm going to charge you this much to do the shoot, I just pitched up with my camera and I took some good and proper photos, and those photos I sent to them for free. Then the next event they had, I basically stalked them on social media And the next event they had, I did the same thing. I showed up, I introduced myself. I'm Andrew, I'm a photographer in the area. I am bored. I want to shoot something. Can I shoot your models on the runway for free? And they go, yeah, sure, by all means. So I did that a couple times. It doesn't cost me much because it's local, so it's easy. And then from there, they started approaching me going, you know what, we've got a year-end function. Would you like to cover it for us? I go, yeah, I can. It is going to take away from my working time, though. Can I invoice you for that? And they go, yeah, sure, we don't mind. And I charge them. They pay me. And the nice thing about once you start doing that, because you've already put in the legwork to get to know them, the parents already know you and all that type of stuff, the recurring work you get from that is quite a lot, because I not only help the modeling agencies, but now let's say the model's got a wedding for the mother, or they've got this event thing happening which is not related to the modeling agency at all, then they approach me and go, you know what, we like working with you, would you mind coming to take photos for us? I go, yeah, sure, here's the invoice, thank you very much. And the nice thing is, as soon as you start working for a modeling agency, you get access to all the models, so you can arrange sessions with the models to take nice photos for your portfolio. So it's always good to keep that in mind as well. You're not only making money from them, but you can grow your portfolio from a modeling agency. It is hard though, because you need to be able to give them good photos, because any person with a camera can take a photo, but you need to be able to produce good results for them. So the biggest clients that I've got was from word of mouth, because now I've done such a nice job for the first modeling agency, and they enjoy working with me so much that their boss has meetings with other agencies and stuff, and they talk to each other. And then that agency goes, damn, you know what, he sounds like a nice person to work with, and they contact me. And then I go do shoots for them. So word of mouth is a very, very powerful tool. I've never advertised on Facebook, I've never advertised on Google or anything like that. All my work comes from word of mouth, because I'm such a easy photographer to work with. I'm so much fun to work with, and I deliver a very consistent, high quality work at a very good price, mind you, that they love using me. And I mean, I've done for Ace models, I've done their year-end functions where I've covered the runways for them. I've had models fly down from Johannesburg specifically to George to come do shoots with me and stuff like that. So as soon as you get to a level where you're able to produce good results consistently, then it's time to start putting your fingers out and feeling the waters with the different agencies in your area and stuff like that. I say agencies because that's what I went for. I didn't start taking portraits of people. I started with agencies. It was a lot of fun. But let's say you're a portrait photographer and you need to find clients. The way I would do it is I would join all my local Facebook groups and advertise on them. But I wouldn't spam advertise. I would interact with them. I would upload photos saying, you know what, I had this and this shoot. It was so much fun. Here's some of the photos. And just keep going and building up your reputation in that group as a photographer. Then after 2 or 3 months, once they know me, then I go, well, these are my fees. I've got a couple open spots. Would anybody be interested in a shoot? The people go, yeah, I would like to have a shoot, because we know you already, because you've built that social interaction on the group already. So it's very important to remember that you don't need to pay for advertising on Facebook, but if you join your local groups, interact with the groups. It's a social platform. You need to be social within those groups so people know you. Once they know you, they become comfortable in spending money with you. So keep that in mind. That's one of the best ways to basically market yourself.
What's your advice to someone who would want to, pursue photography as a career?
Well, to pursue photography as a career, I would say put down your camera and pick up a book. You need to educate yourself, not in regards to photography related things, but business related things. Specifically, you need to be able to properly manage your business. You need to be able to properly market your business. Photography is just like 10% out of a photography business, more or less, because you're only going to pick up the camera when you've got clients. The rest of the time you're going to be sitting around doing admin stuff and such as well. So being somebody that's looking to make photography a full-time career and make money from it, you need to be able to properly manage your business. And one of those things that you can do to get education for free is not to check for business advice from YouTube, rather check out Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning platform specifically dedicated towards learning classes. They're extremely cheap, and they do have free courses as well. Some of the free courses include things like business management, marketing, and all that type of stuff. Everything you would ever need. Alternatively, if you don't have internet connection, you can always just go to the library and get some books on business management, because business management is something you need in photography when you're actually going to do photography as a business, because you need to be able to manage your funds correctly. You need to be able to market yourself correctly. I mean, you can take the best damn photos on the planet. If you're not able to market those photos to audience which will pay for them, it doesn't mean anything to you at all. So to start out with the business side of photography, a good thing to always also keep in mind is to join your local Facebook groups, Facebook market groups, like the buying and selling of used gear and stuff, those types of groups in your local area, because a lot of times people will post in those groups that they're looking for photographers as well. You can interact with those groups on a social platform. I mean, it's Facebook, it's supposed to be social, so once people get to know you, then it becomes easier to market yourself to those people. But it's important to remember, being a photographer doesn't mean you're going to be a successful photographer. Yes, you can be a very good photographer. You can be the #1 portrait photographer in South Africa. But if people don't know who you are, and they don't know how to contact you, and they don't know that you're actually providing photography as a service, then nobody's going to hire you. But on the contrast, you can be a bad photographer but have really good business and marketing skills, and you will always find work. You will always be busy. So it's very important to remember that a lot of times, one of the biggest things photographers seem to neglect when they want to do photography business is they neglect to actually study business related skills. And those business related skills are things which will not only take your photography business forward, but will allow you to actually build a successful photography career. Because if you want to get paid for your photography, you need business skills. You need to be able to market yourself. If you're just going to be shooting for the fun of it, skip business skills and just have fun. But anybody that's looking to actually take photography seriously and build a serious income from it, they need business skills. So get those business skills up, put down your cameras, have some fun educating yourself. Education can be free, it can be paid. One of the best investments in my photography business I did was I paid a professional photographer, other professional photographer, for some of his time. And what I used this time for was for him to teach me the business side of photography. So instead of running around trying to read books and stuff, I actually approached a working professional photographer and I paid for his time. I paid for like 5 hours of his time, and in that 5 hours spending time with him on a Skype session, just so he can teach me all the business stuff, has taken my photography business from, just doing this to doing a lot better. And that's one of the very important things that people need to understand, that if you want to be a successful photographer making a living from photography, you need to be able to manage your photography business. You don't need to have a master's degree in business management. You just need to know how it's done and just keep it consistent, keep growing from it as well.
Oh, that's actually the best advice I've had when it comes to photography.
Put down the damn camera and study some stuff. Hello.
So
like
let's say someone wants to, because you helping out photographers, you having sessions where you just hang out with photographers, you spend time with photographers. If someone wants to get in contact with you, how do they do that?
Well, currently a lot of people get in touch with me on Facebook, because I've got the educational group. So a lot of people drop posts there, or they simply drop me direct contacts. Some of them WhatsApp me, some of them even call me, and a lot of them send emails as well. So out of the, let's say, 100 and something people that I help during the day, About 50 or half of those, 50% of those are people that actually reach out to me privately via DMs on Facebook or emails. I get like 1 or 2 people, sometimes randomly, no idea why. WhatsApp, I get a whole bunch of them. But mostly it's via Facebook because it's easier. They're already on Facebook, so they can just click on the little thing that says chat or contact or whatever it says, and they can directly contact me. And a lot of photographers enjoy that one-to-one communication because a lot of them are still very scared. They don't want to put their work in public for critique because they're scared that somebody's going to say something negative to them. And you've seen my posts. I give critique in a very polite way. So it's not attacking somebody or making the post sound very negative. I'm doing it in a very positive and uplifting way. And that I find is the best way to teach people, because if you enjoy the feedback I give, you think to yourself, oh shit, I can actually do this. And then you go do it. And then you see, oh shit, it's better. And then you just keep doing it and doing it. So a lot of people that contact me are very shy photographers. They don't want to be in the public light. So a lot of them do it privately. But those that I help in public mostly come from my own little education group or the essay photography group. So what I do is at 11 at night or at 12 at night, I normally open up the essay photography group, go via the latest post, and I just scroll down and everybody asking for critique, I give it to them. And from that, a lot of people actually, from me giving them that advice, they go to my Facebook page and they just contact me directly and just say, oh, dude, thank you so much. I mean, they've been waiting and waiting and nobody wants to give them advice. And I just go, dude, just ask. I will always help you. If you've got a question, just ask. I will always help you, no matter what time of day it is.
That's great. That's great. Can we have your social handles?
Hell yeah. Just search for Andrew Basson, ZA, because I'm in South Africa, so ZA. The same thing on Facebook. I'm just Andrew Basson, ZA. My profile pictures are black and white, huge beard, smiling. That's normally me. My website's also just andrewbasson.com. I like to use my name for all of my social stuff as well. Instagram, I never use Instagram, but it's also Andrew Basson ZA. My educational group is just Photo Help ZA. Nice and simple, nice and easy. But people can find me anywhere they want. What I'll do is I'll send you all the details, and you can just pop a little pop-up something with all the details for them. I think that might be the easiest.
Yeah, that would probably be the easiest. Thank you for reserving us this moment. This has been a very interesting, a very educational, and a very inspiring conversation. So thank you very much, and good luck with helping out. Good luck with your photography career. Good luck with everything that you're working on.
Hell yeah.
Hoping to see your comments on my pictures very soon.
Most likely they will be there within a couple of minutes. I'm pretty sure about that. But thank you very much for having me, dude. It's always a pleasure sharing some of the knowledge that I do have with others as well. So hopefully from this video people can learn a thing or two or get to know me a little bit better. either or is just fun with me, dude. But thank you very much for having me around.
Thank you.